Hi, I'm Paris, and I could really use a haircut, but back in February I wasn't thinking ahead that by the end of March, stylists and barbers may not be considered part of an essential industry. So that started me thinking, you know, I could probably cut my own hair or have someone in the family cut my hair. So I reviewed previous experiences in my life where I cut someone else's hair or they cut my hair. And I'm reconsidering going that route. As a kid, you may have had your parents cut your hair. That was the case for myself, my brother, and my two sisters when we were little. We had this metal chair that would get brought into the bathroom and put into the shower or bath stall, and we would take turns sitting there. As I remember, it was usually my father who cut our hair. Now, he cut my hair up until I was 9 or 10 years old, and it ended very suddenly when he wasn't quite paying enough attention, and with the scissors, didn't use a trimmer, with the scissors he snipped right into my ear. And it being the early 70s, I don't think my father was, "I'm so sorry, are you okay?" It was more, "It's hardly bleeding, will you quit whining about that?" I'm sure he felt bad about it, but as a man in those days, you didn't want to appear soft in front of your kids. And as a boy in those days, I'm sure I struggled not to cry while I had my split ear bleeding down my neck. Instead, you take those feelings and you just push them down inside, and you spend the rest of your life putting food on top of them so they won't resurface. Ah, yes, the healthy 70s. Now, I have 2 daughters, and I have never once cut their hair. Have I even trimmed it up a little? I don't think I have even tried. I don't think I have even dared to try that. And they actually went to the same person for their haircuts for 14, 15 years until they started doing dyeing the hair the colors. Up to that point, they went to the same woman who has cut their hair since their first haircut at like 6 months old. So it was not going to be me trimming their earlobes. Now, I did once try to cut someone's hair, the actual full haircut. This is when I was traveling around the world for 2 years, and out in northern Australia, there weren't a lot of stylists around, so sort of out of necessity, the woman I was traveling with, her hair, she kept it really short, but it was getting long. My hair had gotten so it was curling in the back. We decided we would cut each other's hair. We were living most of the time either in a tent or out the back of an SUV that we took around the world as we traveled. So we just set up a metal chair right next to the car and did the best job we could cutting each other's hair. Now, she did a pretty good job on my hair, but my issue was trying to even things up because I noticed, it wasn't quite straight where I was cutting. And so, okay, well then I'll cut this side a little higher. Now it's not so. Anyway, I cut her hair way too short. And that was the only time we attempted that mutual hair cutting during the 2 years of travel. We found someone to cut our hair after that. So I have never had a good experience with this DIY sort of hair cutting, and yet here I am considering it again. So I started looking online for a product that I remembered, I don't know from how long ago, but it was something you would hook up to your vacuum cleaner. And I don't know, I guess it had batteries and cutting blades because you would hold it up to your head, the vacuum would suck your hair out, and then the blades would cut it supposedly at an even length all around. Well, it turns out there is a product, I don't know if it's the same one or a new version of it, called the Flowbee, which you can hook up to your vacuum, or they'll sell you a little handheld vacuum to use with it. It's the same idea. The vacuum pulls the hair out. And not only is the hair supposed to all be cut to the same length, there's nothing to clean up because it all gets sucked into the vacuum and you can throw it away easily. Now that's option number 1, and it's a pretty pricey option. It's about $100 for the version, I think, that doesn't have the little mini vacuum attached, but we have a vacuum cleaner, so I can suck my hair into that. Now the other device I'm considering is this one. Now I look at this device and wonder, how is this going to cut my hair? It says it has 5 settings for how long you want your hair to be, but then reading more, 1/2 inch is the longest setting. So this is actually getting closer to being a razor that's going to give you a very short haircut. And I suppose I could try that. It's much cheaper though, it's just $40. But what is the real price of a bad haircut? So I thought I'd ask you, since we're all dealing with this, unless you happen to be a professional barber and can actually cut the hair of the people in your family. So what are you doing about this? Are you just letting your hair grow out? I suppose for people who have longer hair, that's a good option. Or have you tried the Flowbee or this Conair rotary looking device that gives you very short haircuts? Or maybe you know of some other device that actually does work really well, and I really need something foolproof. both in terms of don't have me have to look at it and judge, was this one a little higher than the other? I want it to all be the same length, that kind of simplicity of haircut. The other thing is, it cannot cut me, pinch me, or in any form mutilate me while I'm using it. But I know that's probably an unreasonable request because it's got to have blades if it's going to be cutting my hair. So if you have some suggestion, some product I can take a look at, or something I can do about my hair other than shaving my head. I know people, I've been told by a number of people, once the hair turns gray, just shave it off, you look so much younger, but that's not a look for me, I think. I'm sticking with the Picard look. I had someone comment on one of my videos that I'm the Jean-Luc Picard of product reviews, and I kind of like that. So I'll link in the description box down below to the 2 products I found and am considering using, and if you have a suggestion for me, please let me know, and who knows what I'll look like on the next review.